Part 16. Plan to cultivate a Bing as my right-hand man in future use. After thinking about it all the way, he walked towards the back hall, but before he went too far, a small figure appeared on the path beside the road, which suddenly startled Ming Yu. When the little figure saw Ming Yu, he hurriedly bent over and knelt in the middle of the road. Ming Yu was taken aback. Who is this? Before he could ask the question, the little man kowtowed. A Bing has seen the prince. He saluted Ming Yu like a servant in the palace. Since these days, he has been in the palace, just like the immortal mansion in the Book of Words. There is no beating or scolding here, and there will be no hunger. Everyone here is very kind to him and has taught him a lot thing. A Bing? Ming Yu looked carefully, only to realize that this child was the little boy who surprised his horse by stealing the cake when he first entered Liangcheng. Now this child is different from what it was at the time. At that time, he was handed over to Qingping to take care of him. It seems that Qingping is still very dedicated. In just a short period of time, this child is not so thin, and has grown a lot. Ming Yu took him up and said with a smile, "A Bing, what are you doing here?" A Bing was a little uneasy at first. It was this person who rescued him and asked Sister Qingping to take care of him, give him food and clothing, and he heard from people in the mansion that this man was a prince from the capital, but he was different from the white-bearded and fierce prince he had seen on the stage. The beautiful brother who smiled softly and genially in front of him made it difficult for him to connect with the vicious prince on the stage. Anyway, no matter what, the big brother in front of him is a good person. In Ming Yu's gentle smile, A Bing's heart finally calmed down. A Bing, A Bing. He looked up at the man in front of him, gritted his teeth and said, "A Bing wants to talk to the other guard brothers. It's the same as learning the skills of killing barbarians." Ming Yu was stunned for a moment, then said softly, "Why?" A Bing clenched his fists. "People in the village and my parents, siblings and sisters are all dead, and they were killed by barbarians. Yes. I'm going to learn how to kill the enemy to avenge them." He saw the barbarians on horses, giggled, then raised his sword and slashed at the villagers running ahead, trampling the heads of the children with his horse's hooves. He hid in the grass in the distance and watched familiar people fall down one by one. The village chief, the third uncle of the Li family, Uncle Zhou, and Xiaohu who was playing with him. He was so frightened that he fainted. When he woke up, those people were nowhere to be seen, and the village was full of blood. His parents fell to the ground with their younger siblings in their arms, with long cuts on their bodies that had been slashed by the blade. From then on, he had no home and wandered around until he met the man in front of him in Liangcheng. Seeing A Bing's red eyes, Ming Yu couldn't help sighing. He reached out and rubbed the top of his head. "You are still young, study and read well now, and be a useful person in the future. Your parents and their hatred, Dayan's soldiers will help you." How could such a young child be blinded by hatred? A Bing was touched by a warm hand on the top of his head, and a warm current came to his heart. He looked at Ming Yu firmly. "Brother Prince, I have grown up. I heard from the guard brothers that Big Brother Prince can teach them the ability to kill enemies. I beg you, I can learn it too. And I will definitely learn it well." Ming Yu was a little embarrassed. He was still a child. He should have been carefree in front of his parents and act like a spoiled child. But he suffered pain that he should not have endured at this age. Seeing that he didn't agree, A Bing fell to his knees and kowtowed again and again. "Brother Prince, A Bing is begging you." Ming Yu wanted to pull him up, but A Bing refused to obey, as if he did not agree to his request, not getting up. Ming Yu was very helpless, so he had to say, "You get up first, let this prince think about it. It is best to have the best of both worlds." At this point, he saw A Bing's stubborn expression, and couldn't help but laugh. Okay. So let's go. This prince will find a powerful master for you. How can I teach your skills? Bing is still a little unhappy. What kind of powerful master can be as powerful as the brother prince? He heard from the guards of the palace that Commander Mo was the most powerful person among them. But Commander Mo told him that the big brother prince was the most powerful and could teach the guards many skills to kill enemies. That being the case, the big brother prince is the most powerful people, right? He deliberately waited here today and seized the opportunity to make his request to the big brother prince. Ming Yu naturally didn't know his position in Bing's heart. Since Bing was determined to learn his skills, he should not only learn how to kill enemies, but to cultivate his literacy, martial arts, and tactics. In the future, he will grow up to be like General Xie. In his mind, when he first saw Xie Yishou, the icy red-robe general rode a horse and commanded rotting from a high place. Okay, deal. Since Bing has followed him, he has to spare no effort to cultivate well. In the future, I can become a right-hand man and I will be able to relax a lot. After comforting Bing, he stepped into the backyard. When he entered the hall, he saw that Qingping had already instructed the servants to start preparing for dinner. Ming Yu paused, frowned and thought for a while, and then ordered his servants to ask Bua Tan to come over to discuss the matter. Qingping, who was in command of the dishes, obviously disagreed with his order, and immediately persuaded, "My lord, it's getting late today. If there is anything, it's better to discuss it tomorrow. It's the first time when the lanterns are on. If the Lord wants to discuss business with others. Do you want to sleep tonight?" But Ming Yu can't wait anymore. He is short of money now, and he still owes a debt. He is not at ease if he does not implement things as soon as possible. Even if you let him rest, he can't sleep. Besides, it's still early, and most of the young people of later generations can't wait until the middle of the night when they're still high spirit. Ming Yu insisted. How dare the people below say anything? The boy went in a hurry. Qingping sighed helplessly and had to do her best to serve His Highness and eat more food. Let's see how long it took to come to Liangzhou. The chubby His Royal Highness had lost several laps, and if this continued, she was afraid that she would have to apologize to her death. Ming Yu didn't understand the twists and turns in Qingping's heart. There was something in his heart, and he couldn't eat. So, he hurriedly took a few bites and pushed the bowl away. Not long after dinner, I heard someone reporting that Bua Tan asked for an interview. Bua Tan was already ready to rest when he saw someone sent by Prince Duan, who came to tell the news of the prince's summons, so he didn't care about anything. He asked his mother-in-law to rest first, and he hurried out at door to go. When he walked to the door, he suddenly remembered something and turned back again. After rummaging through the boxes, he found a small blue cloth bag, and stuffed it into his sleeve before walking out with peace of mind. After entering the palace, the prince immediately summoned him. After the respectful salute, Ming Yu gave the seat with a smile, and this opened the topic. "This prince summoned you overnight. Won't Madame Zun be angry?" Ming Yu took a sip of tea and made a joke. "Where, the lord is joking." Bua Tan, a rude man, was blushed by Ming Yu's joke. Ming Yu was in a good mood, and stopped teasing him at this time, and went straight to the topic. "I called you here today to tell you that the caravan cargo matter has been resolved." Bua Tan was overjoyed when he heard this. "Your Highness, is this true?" He didn't expect that the caravan goods that he was so exhausted and hard to find everywhere would be ready so quickly. But think about it, who is this guy? The dignified Prince Duan. Could there be anything that he couldn't do? Bua Tan thought that his original decision was really right, backed by a big tree to enjoy the shade. And with this golden thigh hugging him, wouldn't he have to follow suit in the future? Ming Yu smiled and said, "It's all stored in the palace's warehouse. You can have someone come over to receive it at any time." "But is your caravan ready?" Bua Tan was very excited. Hearing Ming Yu's question, he nodded his head. The matter that the prince handed him over to form a caravan has been well prepared for so long, but he hesitated for a while before he hesitated and said, back to the prince. "The caravan has been formed almost, there is only one point. It's a bit difficult to do it." Ming Yu sat up straight and listened with awe. "Tell me about it." Bua Tan organized the speech. "My lord, in the Taiping years, the caravan did not need too many people. As long as there are enough people, just need depending on the situation, you can get some bodyguards to escort you. But now it's not more than before. If nothing else, there are endless bandits in the land of Liangzhou, and it is absolutely impossible to have no bodyguards." Ming Yu wondered, "What's the matter? Difficult? You need bodyguards to protect you? You can just go and find it. You can just come to the palace for money and withdraw it." Bua Tan smiled, shook his head and said, "It's not about the money, it's about the current situation in this cool city. It is difficult to find someone who can take up this errand. Many people know that they are guarding the caravan heading west, and they all shake their heads and express their unwillingness to go. It is because of rampant bandits, and the loss of goods is a trivial matter, and they accidentally lose their lives. It is precisely because of this risk that almost no one dared to form a caravan to trade in these years. He was also a hothead at the beginning, and he only thought of taking the risk when he went out of his way. Since there is Prince Duan's power, it is not a matter of petty trouble. There are not a few people staring at such a large caravan. This way, it is too conspicuous, and I am afraid it will not be smooth sailing all the way." Ming Yu understood Bua Tan's concern, and this was indeed a problem. The caravan had no guards, which was no different from sending meat buns to beat dogs. Isn't he doing such a vain job as a wedding dress for others? Ming Yu frowned, and his excitement just now was like being splashed with a basin of cold water, which immediately cooled most of the time. No, he's been planning for so long. But it's all thanks to the caravan to make money for him. If the caravan doesn't work, all his plans will be in vain. Isn't there any other way? Wouldn't it be okay to hire a guard at a high price? Bua Tan shook his head in embarrassment. The wars are not as good as in previous years. Who would risk their lives these days? Seriously. Even the frontier army is not afraid of the powerful, and it is estimated that the only victorious army in the entire Liangzhou is the Red Robe Army. He has lived in Liangcheng for decades. And the Prince Duan of the territory also needs to understand the situation of the entire Liangzhou. After listening to his words, Ming Yu fell into deep thought. The reputation of the Red Robe Army is far and wide. Who is not afraid? It's hard to think about having the Red Robe Army guard it. Ming Yu's mind changed. Isn't it impossible? My caravan has passed the emperor's eyes. How can it be regarded as an emperor's business? It makes sense for the imperial merchant to use a little military strength. So, is it possible to ask the Red Robe Army to help out or something? As soon as the idea in his heart came out, Ming Yu shuddered. He suddenly remembered Xie Yishou's cold face. It is a big project to attack this guy, all headaches. It is a pity that the training time of his guard battalion soldiers is too short, and it is not enough to show his hands. Otherwise he will not need to be so troublesome to directly dispatch the bodyguards of the guard battalion. After making up his mind, Ming Yu's face became much lighter, and he said comfortably, "Well, this prince will handle the bodyguards and guards, and you can just follow the plan." "Okay, this villain promises that it only takes half a month to take care of everything."